Hello, church. Hope you're doing well. It's good to be with you this week. And, as we've been doing each week, about the middle of the week, we've been doing some interviews with families of our church, leaders in our church, and just trying to find ways to connect with you all and ways that we can just continue to encourage each other and just hear how the Lord is working in our lives. And so now I've got Jacob and Regina Schweizer, and we all know Jacob. He leads our worship team, and his wife Regina. She's been handling a lot with this season, and so we're excited. And so just wanted to come together and just have a time to connect with them and hear how the Lord is working in our lives. And so, first of all, how has it been going with you all lately? Give us a snapshot, an update.
Yeah, well, it's been going really well the past couple days. Really, the past couple weeks have been kind of like normal. We're getting into a routine, kind of hitting a normal stride, maybe a new normal. It's not a whole lot different than what it used to be. But for me personally, just work and being church is different. And so that was hard at first, but we're getting used to it now. I think for Regina, I'll let her speak for herself, but just what I perceived is that it hasn't been a whole lot different just because she's normally at home with the kids. And so it's given me a new appreciation for what she does in the day-to-day.
Absolutely. Yeah. What do you think, Regina?
Yeah, it's really, people, ask us how we're doing, and I'm like, it's pretty much the same. We don't get to see friends, which is hard. Jacob's realizing he really enjoys community and talking to people, and Sunday mornings is like his rejuvenation day, and he comes home pumped for the week. And so not having it be that communal day together with everybody has been really hard on him. But for me, it's kind of the same. Like he said, I'm home with the kids. I finished classes, so it's actually it was nice almost to have to stay home because I got so much done. But it's really kind of been the same for me, and I still talk to people over like Zoom and different platforms. So
that's good. The kids been doing well, staying healthy.
Yes.
And
yes, they've been doing really well.
They've got plenty of energy.
Yeah. I'm very thankful for the backyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that's a challenge for a lot of families, just finding ways to entertain the kids and keeping sanity in the house. I know that's a constant thing for us. Good. Well, I'd love to hear from each of you. What are a way that God is teaching? What something that God has been teaching you over these last couple months is, the season of life that's been different for our world and our community and our church. What has the Lord been teaching you?
I think for me, there's a lot of things, but the thing that comes to my mind the most is I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for, the small things that seem simple and small, but like the backyard. We lived in Chicago before this, and I can't imagine having kids in a tiny little apartment, and that's what you're doing for weeks and months at a time. And it's just, we're putting Matthew to bed and we're praying, and he's listing off all these, kid things that he's thankful for. Cake is always his first thing, which I promise he doesn't eat that much cake, but he loves it apparently. But I'm just thinking, and I'm like, I'm listing things for him to think of as well. And there's just so many things that I'm thankful for. We live in abundance and wealth, and even in times of struggle, I'm thankful. Like, I'm really thankful that we have so much good. Like, us personally, I know other people are struggling much more than we are, and that's really hard. And I'm I'm thinking of that as I am saying this, but I am personally really thankful that we have what we do as we're having to be quarantined. I'm thankful that my family isn't sick, that people aren't in the hospital that I don't get to see. So yeah, that's what has been on my mind recently.
That's great.
Yeah, I think it sounds vague at first, but more of an explanation. I've just been fascinated by the world in general, the world's frailty, and not to minimize, say that the coronavirus is small, but really that there's just like, basically invisible, virus can take down the entire world as we know it, especially thinking of our culture. We boast so many things normally being, like having all these things and prosperity and things like that. And it is so true. And there's definitely things to be grateful for, but just to see how it can all come crashing down, it really, just kind of like a twig can easily snap. So it's something super interesting. And I think that it's not just us experience. I think it's all over the world too. But, it from a big macro level, it's incredible to see that, and incredible to even think of like Bible stories, like when the Israelites were in Egypt and God, brought those plagues. Not that that's what he's doing now, but just to think of like all of the supernatural events that I think about hearing in the Bible, and that they were tied to natural events. It's just like, whoa, this just feels like it's this crazy story, and we're a part of it. So thinking along those lines, and then kind of at a personal level, really feeling my own frailty and the things that have occurred, have affected kind of, we were talking about my work. And as Regina was saying, I thrive off of those people interactions. And when those aren't here anymore, like normal, it definitely has an effect on my emotions, and really almost feeling like feelings of depression and not knowing what to do, just never feeling like this before. And so I've really had to learn a new level of dependence on things that I didn't even think were even, pseudo idols in my life, like people and wanting to see people. But it's like, it's really pushed me to be that much more dependent upon the Lord, really finding my full relational satisfaction in him, and being thankful and grateful for the relationships that I have. And so that's what's been a challenge for me, and the Lord has used the challenge to really teach me, kind of pushing me back to himself, reminding me that he is the sustainer, and then there is satisfaction, complete satisfaction, that can be found in him. So those are some of the things that he's been teaching.
That's great. Yeah, man, that really hits home, just thinking about how weak we really are personally and as a community, and hopefully that drives us to the Lord for our strength. And so with that in mind, what's a way you would encourage our church, encourage us with what the Lord's taught you?
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of along the lines, but yeah, kind of one thing that we've really talked about as just a couple, and really tried to do more of a conscious effort of pursuing. I think we even started to do this before the virus hit, but even, in the midst of all of this virus stuff, is really being like sacrificial in our servanthood of others. Anybody, I think, can name someone that has been more in need during this time. Or even maybe not even because of the virus, but somebody could think of somebody in need of something. And, what is a great way to help us move beyond thinking of ourselves and thinking of our own frailties. And really, like you'd said, like our power is found in the Lord, and he also empowers us to serve as he served. And so I think it's just even a challenge I would issue to Crossway, and really anybody that's listening, is what is one way you can serve someone else this week, and do it sacrificially. Go that much farther out of your way, giving up one thing that maybe is normal in your life in order to serve someone else. And I think that when we start to do that, and we would develop a habit of that level of service, I really think we begin to be, one, more appreciative of what we have, more grateful. And then two, I think we really be able to connect with others, even in hard times to connect. Like maybe we don't get to see each other, but that doesn't mean we can't serve one another. And so it might look like meeting a physical need. It also might look like meeting someone's emotional need, sending them a card or something like that. But there are just so many ways that we can serve others. And I think it's a great example, really a continuation of the ministry of Christ, as he served others, so we can serve others as well. So that's one thing that I think we can continue to do better as individuals and as a church, is just serve others sacrificially.
Amen. Yeah, that's great. I hope that the Lord does get our attention through this to do that. Regina, how about you?
My counselor self comes out in this one. It's just that a way to encourage somebody else, the church. There's so many of us that genuinely care and love you, and if you need something, tell us, like reach out. And I think it's simple, but it's simple for me to say, but it's so hard for others to do, and but like we care and we want to help, and we will do whatever needs to be done to help. And so there's just so many people in the church that want to do that for each other. And so yeah, if you're in need and you just need someone to talk to, or just encouragement, or whatever it may be, or just advice or money or whatever, food, like there's just so many of us that care and want to help. And if that would be what comes to mind as I think of how to try to encourage people, like you're not alone and you are loved, even if we don't know you well. I think that as Christians, that just hopefully comes to a lot of us naturally. We just want to help.
That's good. Yeah, man, I hear kind of two sides of a great point. Is, on one side, serving each other well and stepping up in that way, and then also being willing to be served, right? And being willing to, hopefully this whole situation kind of breaks down those walls that, that we can be more connected and serve the Lord, serve each other well. So awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your time, and glad to see Matthew. He did pretty well.
Can you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
All right. Bye.